In recent years, something unusual has caught the world's attention. Kim Jong Un has begun appearing in public with his previously hidden young daughter, bringing her to missile launches, military parades, and major state ceremonies. And almost overnight, people everywhere started wondering, who is she? And why is she suddenly in the spotlight?
From what I feel right now, I do have a feeling that good results would come out.
Experts believe the girl is named Kim Ju-ai and that she's in her early teens, though her exact age has never been officially confirmed. Western analysts think Kim has 3 children and that Ju-ai is likely the middle one. But in a country as secretive as North Korea, nothing is ever fully verified. The world first heard about her back in 2013 when former NBA star Dennis Rodman visited Pyongyang. Afterward, he told The Guardian that he had met Kim's baby daughter. At the time, it sounded surreal. Most people barely noticed. Then, in 2022, everything changed. During a missile launch event, cameras captured Kim holding hands with a young girl in front of a massive intercontinental ballistic missile. The image went viral. She had bangs, a long ponytail, and a calm, almost composed expression, standing beside one of the world's most scrutinized leaders. From that moment on, she was no longer invisible. She began appearing again and again, at military parades, defense exhibitions, and major state events, standing beside her father as rows of missiles rolled past. State media started calling her beloved daughter and dear daughter. And suddenly people began asking, is she being prepared for something bigger? Last September, she reportedly traveled abroad for the first time, joining her father in Beijing for a military parade hosted by Xi Jinping. Alongside Vladimir Putin, the leaders presented a stark political message. And somewhere nearby, away from the cameras, was Ju-ai. She is currently the only one of Kim's children who appears in public. If he has other sons or daughters, they remain completely hidden. Not everyone believes this means she's being prepared to lead, though. Some experts think Ju-ai's presence is mainly symbolic, a way to attract attention and shape public perception. Others point out that succession in the Kim family has always been unpredictable. According to analysts who spoke with CNN, keeping other children out of the spotlight may be intentional, giving them privacy and more freedom for education or training. Kim himself once studied in Switzerland, so that kind of quiet life would be nearly impossible for Ju-ai now. And with Kim Jong Un still believed to be in his 40s, there's no immediate handover of power on the horizon. That means there's still plenty of time for things to change before any real leadership decisions are made.
Well, it's too early to tell. But I wouldn't say that I'm pessimistic.
In some ways, the situation reminds people of Barron Trump, the youngest son of the US president. For most of his childhood, he was carefully kept out of the spotlight. Now, as Barron grows older, he's slowly stepping into his father's world. And some are beginning to wonder whether Trump's youngest child might one day follow in his footsteps. Not much has been known about Barron over the years. Growing up, Barron spent much of his childhood in his family's lavish penthouse in New York City while attending prestigious private schools on Manhattan's Upper West Side.
See? That's Barron. He's strong, he's smart, he's tough, he's vicious, he's violent. All of the ingredients you need to be an entrepreneur. And most importantly, hopefully, he's smart. Because smart is really the ingredient. So Barron, good luck. You have a long way to go. Uh-oh, you won't give up the mic.
When Donald Trump was elected president in 2017, Barron and Melania stayed behind in New York so he could finish out the school year. But by that summer, he enrolled at St. Andrew's Episcopal School in Maryland and officially joined the family in the White House.
Well, Barron's terrific. He's a great boy. He's working hard. He's starting the school thing, the beginning of the process.
Now, while his older siblings, Ivanka, Donald Trump Jr., Eric, and Tiffany, were involved in more public roles during their father's presidency, Barron's life remained a carefully guarded private one. His parents prioritized his privacy, keeping him largely out of the spotlight. But that changed as he grew older.
Is he aware of the fantasticness that is you, his father?
Well, I don't know what he's aware of, but he is a fantastic young boy, so I hope he becomes aware fast.
Fast forward to May 2024. Barron graduated from high school and enrolled at New York University in September. A source close to the family shared with People that Melania is keeping a close eye on her son's future as he navigates his next steps. The source explained, Melania will keep her hand on Barron's future just as much going forward as she has throughout his early and current school years. He is her world. She is proud of him. And she is the primary decision maker on Barron and his future.
I could not say I'm an empty nester. I don't feel that way. I raised Barron as our own person and gave him his own yes and no's. I respect that.
Even with his dad running for president again in 2024, Barron has stayed under the radar. He turned down the chance to be an at-large delegate for Florida at the Republican National Convention, citing prior commitments in a statement from his mom. But he did make his first campaign appearance for his father in July. And who could forget him on stage for Trump's victory speech after defeating Kamala Harris?
He's 18 years old, but he's like
Not an average 18-year-old.
No, he's very smart.
Behind the scenes, though, Barron played a surprisingly important role. In her first interview after Trump's win, Melania shared that Barron gave his dad some key advice during the campaign. He suggested reaching out to media figures and platforms that Gen Z trusts, which turned out to be a game changer for connecting with younger voters.
He was very vocal and he gave an advice to his father, and was incredible how he brought in a success.
During this transition to college life in New York, Melania also mentioned that Barron's security detail makes it difficult for him to lead a completely normal student life.
I don't think it's possible for him to be a normal student. His experience at college, it's very different than any other kid.
Barron is all grown up now, but it feels like just yesterday he was a little boy. Old videos of him as a child are making the rounds online, reminding everyone just how adorable he was.
I like my suitcase. I have to go to school now.
Yeah, you will have lunch and then you go to school.
Now I'm gonna go.
Yeah, first you will have lunch and then you go to school.
And here's the twist. It wasn't just any briefcase, but a Louis Vuitton one valued at nearly $10,000. This adorable moment was captured in a 2010 segment for Larry King Live, where Melania and Barron were hanging out in Donald Trump's office. The iconic Louis Vuitton briefcase with its signature monogram is still available today, though the updated version now comes with a pink handle. Pretty stylish, right?
Smile, man. Smile, 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 smile. Where is that smile?
Where is the beautiful smile of Barron?
But it wasn't just the luxury accessory that caught people's attention. Many pointed out Barron's accent, noting how he sounded like his mom, Melania, who comes from Slovenia.
He has an accent.
He does. He spends most of the time with me, so.
What do you think of that?
I think it's great.
You think
Anything he does is okay with
He speaks 3 languages, actually.
Some even speculated that this was because Donald Trump didn't spend much time with him during those formative years.
And when you get older, what are you going to remember? No drugs, no alcohol, no cigarettes.
Not shocking, considering Trump's first wife, Ivana, once mentioned that Donald wasn't particularly hands-on with his kids until they were old enough to hold a serious conversation with him. Ouch.
He did not know how to speak to them in the children way of thinking. So he was able to speak to them only when they came from university, when eventually he was able to speak business with them.